What's up, guys? So in this video, I'm going to talk about my Japanese journey. So let's get started. I pretty much started this journey July 19th, 2020. That's when I started executing this method of creating sentence cards from my immersion and then learning vocab through that and then building up my understanding ability and then eventually being able to learn how to speak. So, but before this, yeah, I was just trying to learn the characters. So it was just hiragana, katakana from the start before this, and then I started using this method. So at the start, pretty much I couldn't understand very much. Like the sentences were around 2 to 3 words long, as you can see here, and yeah, when I was watching shows, almost none of it was audible. I couldn't understand what was going on, and I couldn't really tell when one word started and the next word ended. It was all just a big mess. But that's how it's going to be at the start, and it's going to be like that for a while. You're really not going to see big improvements on for a few months. So yeah, as you can see, I was picking up just small words here like ningen, nigeru, jujitsu, ochitsuku. And then slowly as time went on, like my understanding ability got better and better as I learned more words. I was able to understand more, and that compounded and me learning new words that were just above my current level, which then just snowballs. And so as time goes on, you should see a improvement in what you can understand. So these sentences are much longer now. The words are, I would say, a lot more rare, and then the grammar structure is much more complex, and these ideas are much more complex. So yeah, I kept at this for a few years pretty much. I have it all dated. And yeah, these are all flashcards that were in Anki that I made, so I'll show you some of them. So yeah, they just look like this. The expressions there, and then you have the reading on the back, and there's an audio file. It's from an anime. So
確かにここから2時の方向。
yeah, so I made thousands of flashcards, clipped thousands of audio clips, from hundreds of anime. And it kind of sounds like madness, this method, but it's really fun and you do get better. It's almost just like a game. It didn't really feel like I was learning or formally learning. It just felt like playing a video game where you just sit in your chair and stare at a screen and pay attention, but don't flex your brain or anything, or else you go crazy. But you're just trying to. The game is just to understand as much as you can and try to pick up new words and look out for things you don't know. So the idea is you want to look out for sentences where there's just sort of one missing thing, and that thing is either going to be a missing word or a sort of new grammar structure that you just don't quite comprehend yet. And so when you find those sentences, what you want to do is either take that unknown word and get the definition of it so that when you now read the sentence, you can now fully comprehend that sentence. And the same thing goes if there's an unknown grammar structure, you want to look up that grammar structure and then be able to read that sentence and now understand it by having that sort of definition of that grammar structure, like here, for example, in this sentence. So yeah, if I were to read this out, it'd be 仲間がどんな風に死ぬのか、自分がどう死ぬのか、そんなことばっかり考えちまう. So I didn't know 風に, that sort of grammar structure, but now I know it just means in what way. So if I read it now, it'd just be in what way will my friends die? In what way? Or how am I going to die? I only think about nothing but that. So by doing this, over and over, your understanding ability, your rikai noryoku, as they say in Japanese, is going to explode. You're going to get to a really high level from just watching anime and dramas and shows. And you're going to learn words that aren't used in everyday conversation. And those words are kind of useless, but they are important because they do pop up in these shows and books. And if you really want a good understanding of the language, it's important to know them. But there are words that are just like utterly useless that you don't use. Like some of the Yoji Jukugos I learned were just like it's just like a parlor trick. Like you just know them, and like you can impress like Japanese people by saying, like, "Oh, I know this word, I know that word," like, and they might not even know it, which is kind of funny. But I guess that's what you get when you use this kind of method, and you're really like you're learning like the nitty gritty stuff. Like this isn't something you would learn in like a language school, like a word like this, like tengai. No one really uses that. Like zenshin zende. Sort of like Yoji Juku goes like that. And so what should happen is like as you keep doing this, as you keep immersing, your understanding ability increases, and then you slowly will be able to speak and say stuff in that language. And that was my experience doing this for like pretty much, it'll be almost 5 years. I took my foot off the gas after like coming back from the second trip in Japan. Like I kind of decided like, yeah, there's no point in doing this anymore. Like I've reached a pretty high level. The effort I put in now isn't really like worth the gains per se. Like if I put like 1,000 hours, I'm making like 1 to 2% gains, like in terms of like actual ability. So at this point, it's just better to speak with Japanese people and just the words I don't know, I just pick them up on the fly instead of you doing this. But it was really fun. Like it was a crazy journey. Like, and it's a super fun way to learn a language. Like this is like, it's crazy how it's not as popular as it should be. Like using immersion learning and just watching shows because yeah, like just doing this.
あと2週間もすれば外せるだろう。
Like this is just it's way better to watch a show than like dump your head in a textbook. And like yeah, if we go down to the words here, like it's gotten to a point where I know all these words and stuff. And yeah, is there any point in like doing this to pick up what's super rare words? Not really. No, I think it's time to put my effort somewhere else. But I can say this, if you are serious about learning a language and you want to reach a high level, this is probably the best way to do it. Like you'll come out with a crazy ability. Like your accent's going to be good because you didn't speak right off the start. You just got input only. And so when you do go to speak after those couple like 2-3 years of input, you're going to sound pretty good. And then just that little bit of practice is just going to take you to a whole other level. Whereas people who just go to like they go to Japan and they just like try to learn on the fly through their environment, they don't end up sounding pretty good. They sound pretty like foreigner like. And it's the same thing with people going to like language school in Japan. They're not very good either, and they end up sounding a little funny. Like I hear them speak, they sound. I can tell it's sort of like foreigner Nihongo. Like, but yeah, that was my journey, and part of me feels like it's like I gave up. Like um, it's hard to measure your ability. Like how good are you at it? Like I know a lot of words. I can say a lot. I can understand a lot. But like trying to quantify that in terms of like a number or a rank is like super difficult. Like I know there's the JLPT test, but like those don't even actually measure your language ability. It's just sort of like a multiple choice test, and then I think they test your like listening ability. So I don't think they don't even test speaking. So that's kind of crazy. But I mean, like I can say I know words that Japanese people don't even know. Like so I got to be at a high level. I'm pretty sure by now. So and yeah, it's like a good feeling like when you're like in the process of doing this and like you just understand that line. It's like a little bit of like a dopamine hit. Like you just understand these like sentences in this foreign language in the show you're watching, it just hits different. Like, and then from that, like, you actually get like a like sort of like a physical like ability per se. Like you can communicate with other people now in this foreign language and sort of like exchange thoughts and ideas and get to know them and learn about them. It's kind of crazy, like just pulling this into the real world. So yeah, that was pretty much my journey. Like, I mean, my goal was to make 10,000 flashcards, but I don't think I'll ever get there. I mean, in this deck, there's 4,469 total. I mean, in the total collection, 5,571. But even that's crazy. Like, it's yeah, you feel like a hoarder after a certain point. Just keep on making flashcards, thinking like you just become an addict. But yeah, that was my journey, and I pretty much still to it now. It's kind of I think it's yeah, it's over. But till the next adventure.